Transformers 1, starring Chris Hemsworth as Optimus Prime, Brian Terry Henry as Megatron, Scarlett Johansson, Keegan Michael Key, Steve Buscemi, Lawrence Fishburne, and John Hamm. So basically, this is the origin story. It says that an origin story set on the planet Cybertron, centering around the history of the Transformers race and the relationship between the two workers named Orion Pax and D16, going from brothers in arms to arch enemies as Optimus Prime and Megatron. It has a running time of 104 minutes and it is directed by Josh Cooley with music by Brian Tyler.
Okay, so I'm not the biggest Transformers fan, but I've like all the Transformers media I've consumed like outside of the Michael Bay stuff as well, which you're just you're but yeah. With that stuff, I'm used to hearing the voice of Peter Cullen.
Mm.
So seeing what I don't think there's ever been have there ever been other voices? I'm sure they have. But it's just Peter Cullen is
Mm,
just the most iconic.
Yeah, he's like the Kevin Conroy of Batman type thing. Peter
Yeah,
Cullen.
with Optimus Prime, like yeah, my name is Optimus Prime. Like that's kind of how I know this character. So seeing what they're doing with Chris Hemsworth, sometimes it feels like he's doing a bit Thor isms in here, like with the
yes.
voice work. But I don't know if it's bad or if it's just me having a bias for Peter Cullen. Because I don't think it's
Mm.
terrible. I don't think it's like unwatchable. And I think also Brian Tyree Henry, like he's not doing like Frank Welker or
Yeah, you're
Hugo
right.
Weaving.
You're right.
He's not doing that type of like gruff, menacing voice thing. It's kind of like they feel like dude bros who are supposed to go to arch enemies. So maybe that's the vibe that they're going for here, I guess. But I
His
don't know
voice
if
does
it
change at the
fits.
end,
Yeah,
though.
but I'm saying I don't know if it fits those two characters. Like when they start off as just like regular dude bros, and like
Yeah,
like
they do sound like
like
they're doing impressions.
Optimus Prime was the cheeky one, and Megatron was the one keeping him in line. Like I don't know about that characterization, but it does look good.
It makes sense,
He,
though, Buck, because remember how someone starts and how they end is not always the
Yeah, but
same.
I'm saying like the
So
thing is with Orion Pax, like part of the from the little lore that I know. Oh, okay. I hope he comes back. Well, anyway, with Orion Pax, part of the little lore that I know is that he was kind of a church mouse who was forced into greatness.
Yeah.
Like he was just a guy who was in the library, and then things happened to him, and he had to become Optimus Prime. Okay, I'll tell Zuko now. Oh, sorry, there, Zooks. I was just saying, like, I get what you're saying about where you start and where you finish, but like Orion Pax, from how I know the lore, he kind of started off as a little bit of like a church mouse. He was like a
mm.
librarian who got thrown into a situation where he had to become Optimus Prime, and
Oh,
like
okay.
yeah, and like the reason why him and like they do philosophize about like the state of Transformers, him and Megatron, but like
Yeah.
they were like it was because Megatron was in like the mines. That's why he's so radicalized. Whereas Optimus Prime was like he had his head in books as Orion Pax, so that's why he's
Oh,
more
okay.
peace orientated or whatever the case is. So that was supposed to be the from what I know. I mean, somebody can comment if you're at this point in the video. First off, Chief, you are strong, but if like yeah, you can comment down below and tell me if I'm wrong, but that's kind of how I know them. So I think this is
Yeah.
supposed to be a different take. The reason why I think it's clashing is because they're saying it's an origin story. So if I'm supposed to be seeing Orion Pax and now he's this brash, I can transform something. It's like okay, but I don't know if it's bad. I just don't know if it's bad or if it's my bias. I
Yeah,
think
like
they're
who's the
doing
like
okay.
who's the target market? That's my question.
Like if it's supposed to be Transformers fans, I don't know if you're gonna get them with this. And if it's supposed to be kids, I don't really know if you're gonna get them with this either. Like
No, that's what I'm
I
asking.
feel like you would go to Peter Cullen to pull in that crowd since he can still do it. Or you get a somebody who can approximate not Peter Cullen directly, but just give that Peter Cullen vibe with
Right.
Optimus.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway,
Zooks.
box office. It's animated and it's got a lot of names. I can maybe see 400 million plus, maybe. And it's also Transformers. Transformers makes money, so I can see 400 million plus.
Transformers
Okay.
makes money no matter how crap the movie is. It's
Yeah.
just like, what the hell
No,
is this
except for
thing?
Transformers 5, because Transformers 5 did not perform well.
Is it?
Yeah.
That was
The
probably
fifth
the first
one,
one.
the fifth one did not perform too well.
Is it the Beast Wars one?
No, not Beast Wars. I'm talking about the Michael Bay movies where with the
Oh,
sword.
with Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, where basically Mark Wahlberg gets a sword and all of that stuff, and Optimus
And the
Prime disappears for
Dino.
2 No, no,
Bro,
I'm
I
not
didn't know
talking
what
about
was
the
happening
dinos.
there, bro.
I'm talking about basically what was it? Yeah, they had Merlin and like one like the girl was a descendant of Merlin and all of that stuff.
Oh wow. I know I watched it, but I don't remember.
And
Like that just
also,
shows
what's her
you.
face? Like they had a small girl. Yeah, fight like a girl. Yeah, fight like a girl or whatever. What was her name?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it was Transformers 5. That one did not do too well. Oh, where here's how you know it. Where Bumblebee and Optimus fight enough for the trailer. There we go.
Yeah. All right.
Mm.
Zeus.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with Buck. The whole Optimus being the brash and Megatron being the calm one was weird. And then both of them, like, it doesn't, like, the reason X-Men works is because Charles grew up in a certain way and Magneto grew up in a certain way. So the reason why they might have the same goal, but they have different ways of getting to it, it makes sense. Here, they're both working the same way. They 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 live in the same place. They work at the same area. So why are their views so diametrically opposed? That could be that would have to be very well explained for it to make sense because I don't get it. But otherwise, it looked fun. It looked like it was all right, you know. Um, them getting their powers, that was a weird one. Like you go to this old man, you get your powers, and then he just disappears. That was it.
Is it like the guru of this universe? What's going on?
Like, but it felt so weird
But
because
there's
he
a lot of
literally
stuff
said,
like that. There's kind of a lot of stuff like that in Transformers lore, from what I know. Like, there's a lot of you go into a cave and then magical things can happen to you. But I think it was kind of not explained in this
"Yeah,
trailer.
that's
Which
what
I
I'm
mean,
saying."
it's a
Because
trailer, so.
yeah.
But like,
So
yeah,
I'm not gonna like bash them over it because I'm sure maybe in the movie they'll explain it better. But it just felt like they said, Cam, Rob, Zuko, you are the Power Rangers. Bye. Like, wait, what are we supposed to do? How do we activate the Power Rangers stuff?
yeah. Also, I
Yeah.
thought the
Felt like
delivery on the.
they just gave you the power and they didn't give you the manual. They didn't give you no training. They didn't even
Yeah,
do a
there's
simple
that.
explanation of what you needed to do.
But
But otherwise, it looks okay. I like the fact that Chris Hemsworth didn't try to Peter Cullen too much. He just tried to be himself. He did get bassier at the end, but he didn't try to Cullen it. So because you're not
Well,
gonna
that rollout line does kind of sound like Cullen, though.
no, but
I
it
think that
didn't.
delivery wasn't the strongest. That's what I was
That,
about to say. Like when
yeah,
he was
but
supposed to say roll out, I think maybe it's the point of the scene is that,
Yeah,
yes,
it is. It
Prime
is.
is still finding his voice. But I think it's just a weird way to cut the trailer because it's just like rollout is like one of I am vengeance, I am the knight, I am Batman. It's like one of those most.
Avengers Assemble, kids
Yes,
next door,
it's
battle
like
stations.
Optimus Prime saying Autobots roll out is like one of the most iconic. It's the most iconic line in that franchise. So I
mm.
think cutting to it on Optimus being awkward, I don't know if that's a good way to sell the trailer. I think I would have just cut it out and just had it in the movie play out regularly. But that's just me.
And also if you're gonna have it like that, have him have a weak one and then have him have a strong one.
Yeah,
'Cause
that
then
probably would have balanced it
that
out.
would
Yeah.
rather show his growth. That would be a better way to
Um,
show his growth.
I
Like,
guess maybe it's like that thing with Simba roaring when he's a kid and the hyenas laughing at him, and at the end, after fighting Scar, he roars as an adult and it's a proper roar. Maybe he's gonna do a proper rollout in the climax. I don't know.
yeah,
We'll
but
see.
we're just saying for the trailer for it to hype you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get the first one in, the weak one, and then get the strong one in. Then you're like, oh yeah, baby Optimus. But when you just do the weak one, you just left with the weak one. It doesn't
Mm.
give you that fire. But but in general, the trailer looked decent. It looked alright. It looked like it'll make money
Okay.
from the trailer. So I'll give it a 350 plus. No, 300 plus. Sorry.
Hey guys, it's sad that none of us are so enthused that we're giving these things like 7, 8, 9, a billion.
Mm, I don't think. Look, if it was Cullen, maybe because that voice in Tang.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I
when
just meant
Optimus,
all the films that we've covered today.
sometimes when Optimus is speaking, dog, Lena ke batla go tsena ke tsene mo ntweng. I'm like, hey, wait a minute, I'm gonna die. What am I doing?
Okay, Rob, what do you think?
Well, I was gonna say, um, you're right. There aren't that many big numbers, but to be fair, I think we're forgetting theaters are in trouble right now. So you know what I mean. There's a reason why we're not saying New Metro and Kineko, because theaters are in
Right.
trouble. So we're not gonna get multiple billion-dollar movies. Not gonna happen. And to be fair, they shouldn't actually be what the normal. If you actually think about it, only superhero movies break that barrier. I mean,
Right.
normal movies don't normally do that,
And
which
it's
is why.
also been to their detriment because the thing is that executives have gotten a big head about these billion-dollar movies. So they
Yeah.
just start forgetting to write, they start forgetting to direct, and they're just like, yeah, we can do whatever and make a billion. And then they find out the hard way, no, you can't.
That
Yeah.
is true. And
Yeah.
also, they also increase the standard of movies. So now, if I work as a cinematographer in a superhero movie, and I work in a smaller movie, I'm going to expect the same paycheck or a similar paycheck. Do you know what I mean? If I'm the
Do-
gaffer,
Yeah.
and then
Do you guys think that the MCU has really messed up the status quo of movies?
Mm-mm.
yes,
I think executives didn't learn the lessons they were supposed to. And I think they've done because it's just a repeating thing in Hollywood. Like the MCU is just the latest iteration, but they did this with YA novels when Harry Potter was kicking around. They did
Right.
this, they like, and we can go as far as back as Ben-Hur, and people were trying to do Ben-Hur all over again. Like the thing is, Hollywood as a machine, it always just like let me repeat what works. And the thing is, they forget the reason why it worked in the first place, and they just keep churning it out anyway. Like action
Right.
movies did the same thing, westerns did the same thing. I just think the MCU is the latest iteration of that. And if superheroes fall off, which I don't think they will, something else will come in and everybody will start just doing that.
okay, I slightly disagree. I agree and disagree because yes, you're right. Something else will take its place, but you have to remember the standard money that's coming in right now. This may not happen again because you have to remember, like the age of Ben-Hur. There was a time when movies used to be expensive before the age of Ben-Hur, Lawrence of Arabia. I think even I think Cleopatra was a movie at that time, where these movies used to cost the money, like Marvel money, right? And then nothing really took its place. Westerns were big, but they were never Lawrence of Arabia big. So they never made, so in studios never did that again until recently. And now we're kind of stuck with this expensiveness that kind of, because you have to think Disney, right? I don't know if you guys remember this, but this was years ago. Disney tried to fight the movie company, the movie studios, not studios, theaters. There we go. Tried to fight them to be like, from now on, these are what we want from now on, because you can see
Right.
our movies are making money. So we want X percentage of the revenue, and we
Uh-huh.
want more theaters. And then I think the movie theaters had to like team up and be like, oh no, you don't. Do you know what I mean? So I think there was like a balance that was met there, but doesn't matter because now the new standard is so high. And now remember, streaming has destroyed the DVD market. So now that's gone. And Disney is forcing prices up, even though they can't match it now. That's permanent. So I think what's going to happen, or rather logically, what should happen, even though I don't want it to happen, is there'll probably be a movie crash, a market crash in the movie theaters. We're gonna lose a lot more theaters, a lot more bad things will happen, and then they'll probably do a reset. I think that's what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah,
But I'm
because
saying I
this
feel like that
sequels
crash,
thing.
but I'm saying I feel like that crash is just coming from the way like it's been a long time coming, is what I'm saying. I just
Yeah.
feel like Hollywood in general, they have not changed their MO for years and years on end. Like something successful happens. Perfect example, right? Matrix comes out and now every movie has a slow motion scene.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just kind of, I feel like because of it became a conveyor belt or whatever the case is, like, and then now on top of the expensiveness that you're mentioning, like they're not doing anything to like kind of earn the money. Like they're not doing anything to put butts in seats. So it's like, oh, okay, yeah. So I can definitely see like a whole like, yeah, like it's gonna be bad for a while. Like movies are gonna maybe go away, maybe streaming will become consolidated, and then yeah, boom, and then theater comes back somehow. Yeah, I can see that happening.
Oh, yeah, the Highlanders, the Highlander of these streaming companies is already happening. I mean, you see now, what's it, Hulu and some of these other ones, these American ones are like, guys, we're just gonna put a few ads back in. And it's like, okay, but then why am I here then? I thought the whole idea was no ads. Now you're worse than cable. Then now you're worse than DSTV now. A lot of these things are happening. As you're saying, actually, they're happening already. But just to give you an idea, just like you said, like the Matrix was so big, right? That people started copying the Matrix, which was a
Bullet
huge
time.
thing.
Yeah.
Now, just remember the mega beast that was the Matrix, 462 million. That's a failure today.
Yeah, it is.
That's a box office fail
Damn.
today.
Well,
That's like
no, I mean it's relative to the budget though. It's relative to the budget.
budget was 63 million.
No, I mean it doesn't look impressive because the MCU has trained us to think that movies should make 1 billion.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
like, yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's the thing.
that's my
Like it,
point. We've been trained, and now the studios. Oh, Indiana Jones cost 200 million. Why?
yeah.
Why?
You
Why
know,
would
there
They
was
are
a
mad.
point. There was a point where when movies made 20 million, it was like a huge success, bro.
Yes,
You remember those days?
the good old
Mm-hmm.
days. That's how old we are,
Ah,
guys.
but that's when you could take 5 rand chappies and you can like, I mean 5 rand and you can go buy out the whole garage.
Yeah.
That's
All
true.
right.
Like your parents would give
But
you
yeah.
10 bucks and you'd just be like, why are you giving me so much money?
Okay, but that's the tangent. Let me actually talk about the movie, which I haven't done yet. Okay, I'm actually genuinely excited. I think there's hope for this movie. Because to me it gave me potential. What's his name now? Black Panther. Michael B. Jordan. What's his character again?
Killmonger.
Killmonger vibes. There we go. I'm like, oof, if they do it right, this could give us Killmonger 2.0 vibes. I feel like the market would want something like that, especially if they somehow manage to make it intelligent without having to go too dark, obviously. This has the potential to be fantastic. I think it has so much potential. And just so you guys know, 14 million views in the trailers. So, it's got positive energy. So it's definitely not going to be under 100 million. I don't see that happening. So I'm going to give it a positive plus 450 million just to separate myself. So I'm going to give it
So
positive.
me and Zuko did plus 300, right?
Yeah.
I've got here. Okay, no, I've got minus 400 for Buckmeister. So plus 300.
Oh.
Oh, are you going to keep it or change it?
Let me say plus 400. I'll say plus 400.
Okay, so plus
Because
400.
it's a Transformers. Like Transformers as a brand is still like it's still strong-ish. Like the merchandise still sells.
It's definitely giving Hasbro a lot of money.
And like people
like
love
that.
Optimus Prime and Megatron. So like getting to see the origin of that or the
Yeah.
version of this one is
And
it's gonna
Bumblebee.
yeah.
But I'm going to say it is based entirely on word of mouth. I think if it relies on the IP in itself, it won't break 200. I think if it turns out that it actually does give a positive Killmonger vibe with Megatron having maybe like you almost understand Megatron more than you understand Optimus, which a lot of writers like to do nowadays with a lot of their writing and their
Yeah,
But
story.
I feel like
have you
that's
seen
also kind of
Mufasa?
lazy. I feel like
That's
it's
Have you
very
seen
very
lazy.
Mufasa?
lazy.
Yeah, it's giving Mufasa vibes. Yes, I think if they do that, if
Yeah,
they win on
because
that,
it's like, yeah, because
Yeah.
when you look at Mufasa, like Scar is actually a prince of a pride of lions, like, and
No, but
Mufasa is
like
just like
that
some
that
orphaned
is just a
cub.
travesty upon the
And
source material. Good God.
Yeah, it makes
Travis.
it makes no
absolutely no
sense,
sense.
dog. Because people in the comments were saying, yeah, then that means that Scar was right. Like, but anyway,
Yeah.
going back to this,
Hey, dog, we live in a world where
going
they
back
want
to
to say
this,
God is evil. Yeah, but yeah, going back.
I feel like Scarlett Johansson is actually sidelined in this thing. Maybe it's because maybe her character is not as iconic as Optimus, Megatron, or
No,
Bumblebee.
no,
But I
Yes,
just
no.
feel
I
like,
was like, why is she
I-
there? Yeah,
yeah, I feel like why is she there? Like her role could have been played by anybody else. Like anybody could have played a
they wanted
role.
to amp
But
it
Yeah,
up.
but I give a
going back to
character.
this, yeah, look, some of the action sequences look decent.
Mm.
That whole thing that you guys were talking about now, it's been done to death. I mean, I think you and I, Rob, were talking last week. We were using Moses and Ramesses as an example in the prisons of Egypt, that we've seen it before.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
so maybe the Transformers franchise should just take a rest, because I don't think they're gonna make the money that they assume that they're gonna make. Lego Batman made like over $1 billion, if you remember.
hmm
Um,
but that was good
yeah, Lego
storytelling
Batman
and
made
word
like
of mouth. Remember, that was word of mouth.
yes.
And I have
But
seen some marketing for Transformers. Sorry, I was going to say I've seen some marketing for this, so that's a positive sign.
I don't think it's gonna make $1 billion, but I think it might make 500. Okay, maybe around 600 minus.
I think the Transformers fans are also loyalists. Like they don't want this thing to go away. So I think they'll try and support it
Loyalists.
anyway. And also they're not Michael Baying. Like this does feel like some OG, like they're trying to take OG Transformers and put a twist on it.
Yes.
So I think for that alone, people are gonna be like, "Oh my God, let me give this a shot."
But
But
OG, you mean
after
the 1980s
yeah,
animated
1980s
film, right?
G1 animated, yeah, basically that's
Right.
what they're gonna try and do. But like then after that initial shock or the whatever, then it's up to word of mouth and the actual quality of the film because designs won't save it. There's been other Transformers series that have come out, like there was one on Netflix and Transformers fans did not like it, even though it did all the G1 classic stuff. So
Mhm.
I
Okay.
think the John Cena one didn't even make money. What is it called again? Bumblebee or something?
Bumblebee. Didn't it make
I'll tell you
money?
now. 468. So
From a budget of
135.
not terrible,
Barely,
but
not terrible, but not that
terrible.
profitable.
It's not bad.
Yeah,
not
bad.
yeah, but it's not touching what the Michael Bay movies were doing,
Yeah.
except for
Yeah.
the last one, maybe.
So that's makes me think. But now I'm gonna keep my number. Yeah, I think about the
All right.
same. Yeah.
So that's about it, right?
Yeah, that's everything.
Yeah, that's everybody.